The United Galactic Council had ruled the stars for thousands of years. They'd brought together over 2,000 advanced alien civilizations. Their scout ships traveled the galaxy, looking for new worlds and life forms. When they found Earth, they followed their usual steps: watch, study, and decide if the planet might be dangerous. What they learned about humans worried them deeply. "These creatures fight wars constantly," said Scout Leader Rez to the Council. "They kill each other over land, resources, and even different beliefs." The Council members watched videos of human history, world wars, nuclear weapons, and rapidly advancing technology. Despite having only basic space travel, humans were developing new technologies faster than any species the Council had ever seen. Admiral Vexilor, who had fought in 17 wars between different alien species, looked at all the information personally. His 6 eyes narrowed as he studied Earth's military capabilities. "They are primitive but dangerous," he told the Council. "They adapt quickly. They never give up, even when they should. If they reach the stars before learning peace, they could threaten everything we've built." The Council voted unanimously. Send the standard warning beacon. Mark their solar system as off-limits until they mature as a species. In 2032, a strange satellite entered Earth's solar system. It positioned itself between Mars and Jupiter, then began broadcasting a message in every human language. Progress beyond this point has consequences. The Galactic Council recommends patience. The Council expected fear, maybe even a retreat from space exploration. What happened instead shocked them. Within days of receiving the message, Earth's nations began working together. Old enemies put aside their differences in the face of a possible alien threat. Military spending tripled worldwide. Research into better rocket engines and space weapons became the top priority for all major countries. "Look at them," said Council Observer Zith, pointing at the monitoring screens. "Instead of fear, they showed defiance. Instead of division, they show unity. This is not the usual response." Within 5 years, humans had built permanent bases on the Moon. 3 years after that, they established their first colony on Mars. Their technology was advancing much faster than the Council had predicted. "This is concerning," Admiral Vexilor said during an emergency meeting. "They took our warning as a challenge, not as advice." "Perhaps we should contact them directly," suggested Council Member Trell. "Explain our concerns peacefully." Vexilor shook his head. "I've studied their historical records carefully. These humans respect strength above all. They respond to displays of power, not words." The Council debated for days. Finally, they'd reached a decision. "Prepare a small battle fleet," ordered High Chancellor Krill. "Nothing too large. Just enough ships to demonstrate our technological superiority. We will show these humans their proper place in the galaxy." As the 7 massive Council warships prepared to depart, Admiral Vexilor watched the latest footage from Earth. Humans were already testing engines that might soon allow them to explore beyond their solar system. "They work so quickly," he muttered. "Let's hope a small demonstration will be enough to contain them." The fleet launched toward Earth, traveling through space at speeds humans could only dream about. The Council expected a quick submission from the primitive species. They had no idea what they were about to face. The 7 giant alien ships appeared suddenly near Jupiter in 2045. Each ship was bigger than the largest cities on Earth. They moved in a perfect formation that looked beautiful, but also very threatening. Earth's space monitoring systems detected them immediately. Red alerts sounded in every military base around the world. The United Earth Defense Command called an emergency meeting. "They're here," said General Frank Wilson, pointing at the large screen showing the alien vessels. "Just as we feared, but sooner than we expected." Fleet Admiral Susan Grant was called to lead Earth's response. As commander of Earth's Space Defense Forces, she had trained for this moment for years. She quickly boarded the flagship Intrepid, Earth's newest and most advanced warship. "What are we looking at?" she asked as she entered the bridge. Commander Alan Wright, her second in command, looked worried. 7 alien vessels, each about 20 kilometers long. Their weapon systems appear to be powered up but not targeting yet. Susan studied the alien formation carefully. "That's strange," she said after a moment. "What is?" Alan asked. "Their formation. It's too perfect, too textbook." She pointed at the screen. "No overlapping fields of fire, no defense in depth. It's like they're putting on a show rather than preparing for actual combat." "Does it matter? They have us completely outgunned," Alan replied. "We have 40 ships. They could destroy us without even trying." Susan smiled slightly. "That's assuming they fight like we do. I'm not so sure they do." The aliens sent their message to all Earth communication systems. "Primitive species, halt all expansion beyond Mars immediately. Submit to Council oversight or face elimination. You have 6 Earth hours to comply." President Maria Rodriguez addressed the United Earth government. "We knew this day might come. We've prepared as best we could. The question now is, do we submit or fight?" The vote was unanimous. Earth would not surrender. President Rodriguez delivered Earth's response herself. "Humanity respectfully declines your terms and requests mutual recognition as equals." The alien ships began to move into attack position, but during the 6-hour waiting period, Admiral Grant had been busy. She had quietly repositioned Earth's 40 ships based on weaknesses she thought she saw in the alien formation. "They fight by the book," she told her captains. "We need to throw the book away." When the aliens fired their weapons, massive energy beams that could cut through anything, many missed their targets. Earth ships were not where they were expected to be. What followed shocked the alien commanders. Earth ships moved in unpredictable patterns. They sacrificed ships to create openings for others. Human captains made decisions without waiting for orders, adapting to each moment of the battle. One Earth ship, the Defiant, deliberately flew into an alien energy beam to protect the Intrepid. As it exploded, its missiles launched, hitting the alien ship's previously identified weak spot. "They're sacrificing themselves," the alien commander exclaimed in disbelief. By the end of the 3-hour battle, 3 alien ships had been destroyed. The remaining 4 retreated, damaged and confused. Earth had lost 28 ships and over 2,000 brave men and women. But humanity had done what the aliens thought impossible. They had won the first battle. As Admiral Grant watched the alien ships retreat, she knew this was just the beginning. "They'll be back," she said quietly. "And next time, they won't underestimate us." On the lead alien vessel, Admiral Vexlor stared at the battle data in shock. "How?" he whispered. "How did they defeat our superior technology?" The answer would change how the entire galaxy viewed humans forever. Council Grandmaster Kroon slammed his fist on the table. The entire council chamber fell silent. "Impossible," he shouted. "Their technology is centuries behind ours. How could they defeat our ships?" Admiral Vexlor stood calmly before the angry council. Despite the defeat, he felt a strange respect growing for the humans. "Their technology is primitive," he admitted, "but their tactics were brilliant. They saw through our standard attack patterns immediately. They used our own rules against us." "Rules?" asked a council member. "We fight in specific formations. We follow battle protocols developed over thousands of years," Vexlor explained. The humans ignored all of that. They fought creatively. Grandmaster Kroon's face darkened. "They're savages, unpredictable, dangerous savages. They cannot be allowed to spread their chaos to the stars." The council voted quickly. They would send a full war fleet to Earth, 100 massive warships carrying weapons that could turn planets to dust. They would make an example of these humans that the galaxy would never forget. Meanwhile on Earth, the celebration of victory was brief. Everyone knew the aliens would return with a bigger force. In a secret underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Earth's Defense Command established Project Prometheus. Its mission: study the alien technology from the destroyed ships and prepare for the next attack. Dr. Eleanor Reyes, a brilliant scientist who had developed Earth's shield technology, was chosen to lead the project. She gathered the best minds from around the world. "We have maybe 6 months before they come back," she told her team during their first meeting. "We need to understand how their shields work, how their weapons function, and how their ships move so quickly." Working beside her was Daniel Powell, once a video game designer whose battle simulation programs had helped train Earth's space pilots. His ability to see patterns had proven valuable during the first battle. "Their technology is amazing," Daniel said, as he studied pieces of alien equipment. "But their thinking isn't creative. They follow strict rules and expect everyone else to do the same. And we don't." Eleanor finished his thought. "Exactly. We're unpredictable to them," Daniel explained. "When their ships lined up in that perfect formation, they expected us to do something similar. When we didn't, they couldn't adapt quickly enough." Eleanor nodded. "We can't build enough ships to match them. We can't develop technology as advanced as theirs in just a few months. But we can think differently," Daniel said with a smile. "That's our advantage. Around Earth, Mars, and Jupiter's moons, humans work day and night building new ships. They incorporated pieces of alien technology into their designs while developing completely new battle strategies." Admiral Grant oversaw the training of new pilots and captains. "Forget everything you know about traditional space combat," she told them. "The aliens expect us to follow rules. Our strength is that we don't." The most ambitious project was happening on Mars. Using mining equipment and new technology reverse-engineered from alien wreckage, humans hollowed out massive chambers beneath the red planet's surface. "If they come back with planet-destroying weapons, we need to be ready," President Rodriguez told her military advisors. "Operation Red Shield will give us a fighting chance." As the months passed, humanity prepared for war like never before. Old national rivalries were forgotten. Every resource was directed toward defense. In June 2046, Earth's long-range sensors detected a massive energy signature near Neptune. The alien fleet had returned, and it was much larger than before. 100 ships, whispered Commander Alan Wright as he looked at the sensor readings. "God help us." Admiral Grant's face showed no fear. "God helps those who help themselves, Commander. Deploy the fleet according to Plan Scatter. And alert Mars base. It's time to test Operation Red Shield." The greatest battle in human history was about to begin. The Council War Fleet appeared near Neptune in June 2046. 100 massive warships moved together in perfect formation. Leading them was Supreme Commander Zalin, an alien who had fought in wars for over 300 years without ever losing. "These humans think they understand war because they won one small battle," Zalin told his officers as they studied Earth's solar system. "Today we will show them what real war looks like." The Council fleet expected to find Earth's ships waiting in formation near the home planet. Instead, their sensors showed something strange. The human fleet had broken into small groups. Some hid in asteroid fields. Others lurked in the atmospheres of Jupiter and Saturn. Many seemed to be moving randomly through the solar system. "What are they doing?" asked Zalin's second-in-command. "This makes no sense. They have scattered instead of combining their strength." "They are afraid," said another officer. "They are hiding to avoid battle." But Zalin felt uneasy. He had studied the reports from the first battle carefully. "No," he said slowly. "They're planning something. All ships maintain tight defensive formations. Move toward Earth with extreme caution." As the alien fleet approached Mars, their sensors detected unusual energy readings from the planet's surface. "What is that?" Zalin asked, pointing at the screen. "Our scouts reported no major installations on Mars." Before anyone could answer, the surface of the red planet seemed to ripple. Hundreds of hidden doors opened on Mars, revealing missile silos that had been built in secret. "Impossible," cried Zalin. "Our intelligence said nothing about this." What the Council didn't know was that Operation Red Shield had transformed Mars into a giant weapons platform. During the 6 months since the first battle, thousands of humans had worked day and night, hollowing out chambers beneath the planet's surface. The missiles that launched from Mars contained a clever mix of human explosive power and reverse-engineered alien technology. They weren't as advanced as the Council's weapons, but there were thousands of them. At the same time, the scattered human ships suddenly began moving with purpose. They attacked from all directions, following no predictable pattern. Each captain made decisions independently without waiting for central commands. "They're everywhere," shouted an alien officer as alarms blared throughout the fleet. "I cannot predict their movements." The Council ships tried to form a defensive sphere, but the humans had studied their tactics. Small, fast Earth ships darted between the larger alien vessels, firing at the same weak spots they had discovered in the first battle. "Target their command ships," ordered Zalin as 15 Council vessels exploded in the first hour of fighting. "Use the planet killer weapons. End this now." But the Mars-based missiles kept coming, overwhelming the alien defenses. The scattered human fleet proved impossible to defeat in a single blow. Whenever the Council ships focused on one group of attackers, 3 more would hit them from different directions. From her position on the bridge of the Intrepid, Admiral Susan Grant watched the battle unfold. "Just as we planned," she said quietly. "They can't adapt to our chaotic approach." But even as she spoke, the remaining alien ships began to regroup near Jupiter. Their largest weapons, planet killers that could crack Earth open like an egg, were being prepared. "Admiral," said Commander Wright, "they're targeting Earth directly. They're going to try to end the war by destroying our home planet." Susan's face hardened. "Alert Defense Command. Tell them to activate Phase 2 immediately." Back on Earth, Dr. Eleanor Reyes and Daniel Powell received the message. They looked at each other and nodded. It was time for humanity's secret weapon. "Let's hope this works," Eleanor whispered as she activated their system. "Because if it doesn't, there won't be an Earth to come home to." Despite losing many ships, the Council forces still had a huge advantage. Their technology was far more advanced than anything humans had built. Supreme Commander Zalin gathered his remaining 85 warships around Jupiter and prepared for a final attack. "This ends now," Zalin declared to his officers. "If we cannot defeat their military, we will make their home planet uninhabitable." The massive alien vessels began charging their planet killer weapons, devices that could crack a world open like an egg. The energy readings were off the charts. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains on Earth, Admiral Susan Grant received the alarming news. She stood in the command center surrounded by worried faces. "They're positioning for a direct assault on Earth," she said grimly. "Our forces are too scattered to stop them all." President Maria Rodriguez had been called to the military headquarters for this critical moment. She looked at the holographic display showing the approaching alien fleet. "How many civilians can we evacuate to the Moon and Mars colonies?" she asked. "Maybe 10 million at most," replied Defense Secretary William Johnson. "Out of 10 billion. The room fell silent as everyone realized what that meant. Even if they won this battle, most of humanity would be lost. Suddenly, the door opened. Dr. Eleanor Reyes walked in, looking exhausted but determined. Her lab coat was wrinkled, and dark circles showed under her eyes from days without sleep. "Madam President, we have another option," she said. Daniel Powell followed behind her, carrying a data tablet. His hands were shaking slightly, not from fear, but from too much coffee and too little rest. "We've completely decoded their communication systems," he explained. "Their communication systems?" Susan asked. "How does that help us now?" "Their entire fleet operates on a unified command network," Eleanor explained. "It's what makes them so coordinated and efficient, but it's also their greatest weakness." Daniel tapped his tablet, bringing up diagrams on the main screen. "Their ships don't just communicate with each other. They're actually connected through a central system. It's their strength and their vulnerability," Eleanor finished. Can you disrupt it? Admiral Grant asked, hope rising in her voice. Better, Eleanor replied with a tired smile. We can use it to deploy our answer to their planet killers. Operation Ghost Signal launched just as the Council fleet approached Earth orbit. The plan was both simple and incredibly complex. Send a fake command signal that appeared to come from Council headquarters. When the alien vessels prepared to fire their superweapons, every ship in their fleet received what looked like a priority override command. The message included authorization codes stolen from the wreckage of destroyed Council ships. The command initiated an emergency shutdown sequence in their main weapons and propulsion systems. The mighty Council warships suddenly drifted powerless in space, unable to attack or retreat. What's happening? Zalin shouted as his control panels went dark. Restore power immediately. We can't, Commander, his chief engineer replied in panic. The system thinks the order came from High Command itself. In reality, it was a carefully crafted virus created by Daniel and Eleanor's team. They had spent months studying the rigid hierarchical command structure of the Council's technology and found its fatal flaw. It never questioned orders from above. As the alien fleet drifted helplessly, human ships closed in from all directions. Admiral Grant opened a communication channel to Commander Zalin's vessel. Your fleet is disabled, she said simply. We could destroy you all now, but unlike you, we don't believe in unnecessary bloodshed. We offer terms. Leave our solar system and recognize Earth's independence, or face destruction. The choice is yours. On his darkened bridge, Supreme Commander Zalin, who had never lost a battle in 3 centuries, realized he had been defeated by a species that had only reached space a few decades ago. How? He whispered. How is this possible? The answer would change the galaxy forever. News of the Council fleet's defeat spread quickly through the galaxy. For the first time in thousands of years, the mighty United Galactic Council had been decisively beaten. Even more shocking, they had lost to a species that hadn't even developed faster than light travel yet. On the Council's capital world, emergency meetings were called. Thousands of representatives from member species gathered in the Grand Hall, a massive building with ceilings that reached toward the stars. The debate was heated and angry. This is unacceptable, shouted Councillor Draz, slamming his forearms down on the speaking platform. We must assemble an even larger fleet, 10,000 ships if necessary. These humans must be eliminated before they spread beyond their solar system. Many council members roared in agreement. Fear was spreading through the galaxy. If humans could defeat their best fleet, what else might they do? Destroying them would require massive resources, argued another representative. And they've proven they can adapt to our tactics. What if we fail again? Grandmaster Kroon, the most senior council leader, raised his hand for silence. The hall gradually quieted. These humans are too dangerous to be allowed into galactic society, he said, his voice deep and powerful. Their unpredictability, their willingness to sacrifice themselves, their complete disregard for established protocols, they would destabilize thousands of years of peace. But not everyone agreed. Admiral Vexlor, who had first discovered the humans, stood to speak. Perhaps, he said carefully, what our society needs is some destabilization. The hall erupted in angry shouts, but Vexlor continued. Look at us, he said, gesturing around the room. We've grown comfortable, rigid. We follow the same patterns we've used for millennia. These humans remind us of what many of our species once were: adaptive, determined, innovative. The debate continued for weeks. Some council members wanted war, others suggested incorporating humans into the council, and some proposed a strict quarantine of Earth's solar system. While the council argued, humanity didn't sit idle. Using technology captured from the defeated alien fleet, Earth scientists worked day and night to understand faster than light travel. In just 2 years, they succeeded. The first human interstellar vessel, named Pioneer, left the solar system in 2048. Its destination was the nearest star system reported to have habitable planets. When news reached the Council, it created fresh panic. "They're expanding already," Grandmaster Kroon thundered during an emergency session, "before we've even decided how to respond to their defiance." The Council expected Pioneer to be a military vessel, perhaps the first of a human invasion fleet. They sent observer ships to monitor its progress from a safe distance. But what they discovered surprised everyone. Pioneer wasn't a warship at all. It carried scientists, teachers, doctors, and diplomats. Its mission wasn't conquest, but peaceful contact. The ship's captain, Lisa Martinez, sent an open broadcast to any intelligent life in the system. "We come from Earth, seeking friendship and knowledge. We wish to learn and share, not to conquer." This unexpected approach created a growing faction within the Council. Led by Admiral Vexlor, more and more representatives began questioning centuries of policy. "We've contained species we deemed too violent or too unpredictable for so long," Vexlor told the Council. "We've forgotten why we formed this council in the first place. It wasn't to rule the galaxy, but to learn from each other." For the first time in thousands of years, the United Galactic Council faced a choice that wasn't covered by their ancient protocols. And deep down, many of them found this both frightening and exciting. As Pioneer approached the new star system, its crew had no idea that they were about to change the course of galactic history forever. 5 years after the great battle that became known as the Defense of Earth, humanity had spread to 3 new worlds beyond their solar system. Each colony was carefully established, with scientists and diplomats arriving before settlers. Unlike the Council's fears, humans did not rush to claim as many planets as possible. They moved carefully, always reaching out to any nearby civilizations first. On the Council's capital world, the debates about humanity had finally reached a decision. After years of argument, they would try a new approach, not with warships, but with diplomats. Admiral Vexlor, who had first discovered Earth, was chosen to lead this important mission. The Council promoted him to the special rank of Council Diplomat, a position not used in centuries. "Your experience with humans makes you the logical choice," Grandmaster Kroon told him, though he clearly remained unhappy with the decision. "But remember, you represent the entire Council. If they show any sign of aggression, you must report it immediately." 7 sleek diplomatic vessels traveled to Earth, arriving in orbit without the threatening formation used by previous Council ships. Their message was simple: "We come in peace and wish to speak." In the United Earth Government headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland, President Maria Rodriguez prepared to welcome the alien representatives. She had led humanity through its darkest hour and was now serving her 3rd term. "This is the moment we've been waiting for," she told her advisors. "A chance for real peace." When Admiral Vexlor and his delegation stepped from their shuttle into Earth's sunshine, they were greeted with respect rather than weapons. President Rodriguez herself came forward. "We're pleased to finally meet under peaceful circumstances," she said with a smile. "The pleasure is ours," replied Vexlor, bowing slightly. "Though I must admit, we come not just as diplomats, but as students." This statement surprised the human delegation. The mighty Council, which had ruled the stars for thousands of years, calling themselves students. "In just a few years," Vexlor continued, "you've achieved what many Council species took centuries to accomplish. Your adaptability is remarkable." Dr. Eleanor Reyes, now Earth's science director, smiled at the alien admiral. "We had good teachers, even if they didn't intend to teach." The meetings that followed lasted for months. The aliens and humans talked about everything, from technology exchange to cultural understanding. The Council discovered things about humans they hadn't expected. Human art amazed the aliens. Music, paintings, and stories that broke all the rules yet created beauty. Human science often ignored conventional approaches, finding solutions that Council scientists had never considered. And most surprisingly, humans thrived on disagreement, incorporating different viewpoints rather than forcing everyone to agree. In return, humanity gained access to amazing alien technology. Medical advances that could extend human life by decades, environmental systems that could heal damaged ecosystems, and star maps showing thousands of worlds waiting to be explored. 2 years later, the first human embassy opened on the Council's capital world. Admiral Vexlor, now one of the strongest supporters of human integration into galactic society, gave a speech to the Grand Assembly. We sent warnings to Earth, thinking we were protecting galactic stability. We tried to contain what we didn't understand. But in challenging humanity, we ended up challenging ourselves. These humans remind us that progress isn't always neat and orderly. That new ideas often require breaking old patterns. That true strength comes not from perfect agreement, but from embracing different ways of thinking. They ignored our warnings and challenged us anyway. And the galaxy will be better for it. As he finished speaking, the Great Hall erupted in applause. A new age of galactic cooperation had begun, with humanity bringing fresh energy to a civilization that had grown too comfortable with its own rules. Sometimes, the most important lessons come from those who refuse to be contained.